Alright guys, I'm going to prepare some traditional Zambian dish. I'm preparing pap. Actually, pap is not necessarily a traditional Zambian dish, but it's eaten all over Africa. So many places people eat pap as a form of starch, and so I'm going to make some pap. I've actually started already preparing it. So I'm gonna make pap, and I'm going to make I've prepared some mutton stew. So this is the mutton stew. Basically sheep, mutton, and yeah, it's stable pap porridge. So I'm using in Namibia we have top score meal. That's the one that we use. So the preparation for making pap is basically you add some maize meal in the beginning to the pot, add some lukewarm water, and then you start to stir it until the pap starts to boil. And now it's ready. I left it to sit for 10 minutes on heat 4. I don't like it too violent on heat 6 because it jumps all over the place. Right, so I'm going to start adding meal, and then I'll continue to make it a little bit stiff till it's ready. I just need to find a place where I can put this camera. Can this be the place? Can this be the place? Does this one pop up? So let me try to lift up this camera. Yes, it does. Okay, so there's my pot, and we're gonna start the action. Now, I know when we were much younger, before I actually got married, there used to be guys who would let the water boil, you know, bachelors way of preparing pap. They will let the water boil, and they'll just throw the pap in it and then stir like this very, very quickly, and then they'll stir it, and in less than 5 minutes their pap is ready. But that pap used to be very hard. It used to be, you know, hard. It's when you were making it soft with your hand, it was like you are lifting. It's like you are doing weights. But a lot of guys have got different ways of preparing it. If you make the pap, the porridge too soft, it boils over. So you need to find the right balance. So this one, I prefer it to cook more. So my late brother would say the stiffness of the pap is not in how much meal you add to it, but it is how much water vapor. So he used to love his pap nice and tender. He did not like to add too much meal. So he's had a little bit of a bounce in it. He would cook it like that. He was a minimalist in how he used his maize meal. He made sure that the maize meal lasted. And having been a guy who had to survive university, he was one guy who was very economical when it comes to how he prepared his pap. Okay, so you will see that if you add the meal, the pap now becomes a bit stable. So if we put the heat to 5, it will cook up a little bit, but we're trying to avoid it sticking to the bottom. So just add a little bit more maize meal, and then we stir. Okay. Right, so I'm gonna leave it to simmer a little bit, just for a few seconds, and then we have to prepare where we're gonna put our pap. So pap has got many different names. In Kenya they call it Ugali. In Zambia, Bemba, we call it Ugali. In Nyanja, Nshima. Yeah, it's got different names. In Afrikaans, it's called staba pap. Staba pap. Or the literal translation will just mean soft porridge. Right, so I'm looking for something I can save our pap in. I'm gonna use my wife's Tupperware. So we're gonna use this big lunch box. Just want to rinse it a bit. What the water does is it prevents the pap later on sticking to the base. So and then we need a spoon. We need this spoon right here. We go back here. Right, let's reduce the heat again so we do not bend the pap. Pap should not bend, it should just be proper. Okay, and then this one is not the right one. Okay, then we make small little lumps. I prefer to use this. You can use it for soup. So you make small little lumps like that, and then you just put your pap in. Go there. So small little lumps. So you go in here, you pick like that, and then you come and you put it like that. Then you come back again here, pick some more, and then you come in, you put. So the lumps, how many lumps you make out of a pot like this one depends on how small, how big you want them to be, and also depends with how many people you have. So we are a family of 4. I'll make something like 8 or 10 lumps, or 12 even. So each one of us will have a sizable lump to take on our plates. Okay. Then another one. Okay, that's 8. And then we go back in here. That's 9. And then we go back. So the water is just to kind of like lubricate the spoon so it doesn't stick. So we were at 9 and we are at 10. Okay. Then we take the last one. So I've just managed to make just about 11 lumps, which is more than enough for the 4 of us. Okay, so 10.5, not bad. Okay, right. Right, so here's our pap. We're done. Here's our pap. Okay, we're going to cover our pap like that. Now this pot is sitting. Whilst it's sitting, there is the base. So now, how do we know that your pap is well done? So the base, if you come into the base, you should just be able to lift it up, just like that. Now when we were young, we used to enjoy eating this base. It used to be fun. We used to call it African cornflakes. So you lift it up, it's like a crisp, it's like a crisp biscuit. Very nice. So this actually saves you time. It saves you a lot of time from washing the pot. So it saves you quite a lot of time. So if your pap is well done, if your pap has been cooked the way it's supposed to be done, this base just needs to lift up by itself. Okay, so yep, so that's your traditional African cornflakes. It's a nice crisp base, very nice. Now of course, if you are preparing your pap at home, there's one part that my wife always says, that I cook very nice, but I leave a mess. That's what she says. Because when I'm done cooking, the stove is a mess, and I tend to leave a lot of stuff behind. Now, I make sure that the pap is well done. The pap is well done, then your pot should be easy to clean. And when you're done, of course, clean as you go. In the restaurants, they have a philosophy of clean as you go. So just to minimize how much work you have to come back and start cleaning. So you want to clean, and it's also better to clean the stove when the pap is still warm and doesn't get stuck to the stove, because these things, when they dry, they act like glue. They stick very hard. So pap is starch. Maize starch is quite strong when it's dry. So you want to make sure you clean the stove immediately afterwards, because if you try to come back and clean it later, it tends to be a hassle. Okay, now we need to make the table. The table is right there. We need to make the table, and we need to put away everything else we've been using. So we'll clean the pot. Pap is ready. Sauce is ready. I must go look for the guys that will do the work. Calvin James, can you please prepare the table for us? Matthew, where are you? Why is that dog still laying there? Take that dog outside. Please prepare the table. My stuff can sit on the deep freezer. Alright guys, this is AK on the AK's notepad. I just shown you how to prepare pap. We will be enjoying the pap very soon. And this is the base on the pot. It tastes like cornflakes, but traditional African cornflakes. All right, guys. Ciao. We'll see you in the next video. Please like, share, subscribe to our channel.